I'm Shaun.
I'm Joseph,
And we're Cubic Theory. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Of course, Rubik's Cubes come in all different sizes, the 2x2, the 3x3, the 4x4, and there's also many others. Today we're going to be focusing mainly on the 3x3. There's 3 pieces this way, and this way. So before I teach you how to solve this, you need to know a little bit about the cube and how it works. This is the cube I decided to take apart. As you can see, it's white plastic instead of the original black. Everything rotates around this core, although the actual pieces revolve around the center pieces. As you can see, blue is always going to be across from green, red is always going to be across from orange, and yellow is always across from white. As you can see here, the edge pieces is always going to be an edge by the way it's set up, and the corner is always going to be a corner. Okay, so these are the edge pieces. They're the pieces that are in between the 2 corners, and clearly the center pieces are all in the center. The way center pieces work is they never move, so the color of the centerpiece is always going to be the color of the side that's solved. Well, so let's give this a quick scramble here. Alright, this is probably what some of your cubes look like. Okay, so before we get into actually solving the cube, we need to talk about notation. Notations are the turns of the sides that make solving it possible. You have to think of the cube as you're looking at it. So this would be the front side, this would be the top, the right, the left, the bottom, and the back, which we won't use in this tutorial. With notation, you would be given a series of moves called algorithms, which are going to be used to solve the cube. So there's 5 letters, since we're not using the back. There would be R, U, L, D, and F. The way these work is they all move clockwise. There's also inverted turns, which you would move counterclockwise. So R inverted, left inverted, down inverted, up inverted, and front inverted.
Okay, so now that Shaun has taught you notation and a few other things, I'm going to take you through step by step on actually solving. So the first thing you want to do is make a cross. I'm going to start on the white side. That's what most people do. You want to make this white, this white, this white, and this white. So if you look at it like that, you'll have a cross or a plus sign, whatever you want to look at it. So when you're solving the cross, you want to keep the cross that you're solving that center on the top. So when you're doing that, look in the bottom layer for a piece that has white in it, or your center color. So this piece right here has white and blue. So whatever color that's not white on that piece, turn the bottom layer while it's on top until it matches up with that centerpiece. So as you can see, blue matches up with blue, and all you have to do to match up with the white is turn that blue side twice, and it matches up those 2 blue and those 2 white. This one happened to already be done during the scramble. So now we have this one right here, white and green. So I'm going to turn the bottom layer all the way around until I find there it is, green. White's on bottom, turn that side twice, and there you go. So now, I have this piece in here. This may happen. So if you have this, turn whatever side it's on. You can do it from this side or this side. Turn it 1 turn, and then move this out of the way, so you can turn this layer back up, and that's still solved. So now we have this piece in the bottom layer. You may have it anyway, and you would not have had to do that. Red and white. So orange is right here, which means red is straight across from it, so you can just do 2 turns. Red and white. Turn this side up. And here is your first algorithm. So your cross is actually done, but one of the pieces are inverted. This may happen to none, some, or all of the sides, all of the edges. So this is your first algorithm. It is this algorithm right here. Front, up inverted, right, up. And as you can see, that flips that piece and all of your other edges are still in place. So now that we have a cross done, the next step is going to be to work on these corners. So if you solve these corners correctly, the entire first layer will be completed. As Shaun said, you solve this cube in layers, not sides. So what you want to do is you want to keep your white cross or your cross on the top layer and look around the bottom layer for a corner piece, one of these pieces, there's only 8 of them on the cube, that have white in it. There may not be. If there's not, you'll just do the step that I'm about to show you to any piece on the bottom layer to get one of the white ones out, because if they're not down here, they're up here, whether to orient correctly or not. So we are fortunate enough to have one in the bottom layer. 95% of the time I would say you would. So the two colors on this that are not the color of the side you are solving, they are orange and blue. So what you want to do is you want to turn this bottom layer until the other two colors are in between their two centerpieces. So right now I see that there's red and blue, these two centerpieces that it's between, but this is made of a blue and orange. So you have to turn it around whichever way, and now it's in between here. So blue, blue, orange, white is up top. Because you're going to work up. This piece right here, you're going to solve to go right here. Because if this goes up here, it'll be around blue, orange, and white, and it'll be put in place. So you're going to use this algorithm right here to solve this piece by holding it in this position, in the front face, in the bottom right-hand corner. If you're holding it like this, it will not work. If you're holding it like this, it will not work. It must be in this position. So do that algorithm. That is right inverted, down inverted, right down. Now, depending on which way the piece is oriented or turned, you'll have to do that a number of times. If it is turned to that way, which this last one was, the white was facing on the right side, you only have to do the algorithm once. If it's facing towards you, like this next one is, you have to do it, I think, 5 times. A lot more. And if it's facing down, it's something like that, 4 or 5. But depending on which way it's oriented, you'll have to do this algorithm a number of times until the piece is solved. So this next piece has red and green. So I don't see either of those colors right here. So I'm just going to turn it around, and there we are, red and green. So in this working spot right here, we're going to do that algorithm again. Right inverted, down inverted, right, down. Keep doing it until you see all this match up here. That was 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's put in place correctly. Now here's the next one. Green and orange. Already is there. Just got to hold the cube correctly. And 5 times, because it's facing towards you. Right inverted, down inverted, right, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Puts it into place. Look for another one. This one's facing down. So there it is. Orange, or sorry, colors look a little bit weird through the camera. Red and blue. White's facing down. Hold it in its position and do the algorithm until it's solved. Right inverted, down inverted, right, down. Once, twice, 3 times. So if the white is facing that way, it's 1 time. If the white is facing towards you, it's 5 times. And if the white is facing down, it is 3 times. So now that you have this whole white side done, you're going to put that on the bottom. You're done working there. Next thing you're going to do is going to solve these 4 edge pieces in the middle layer. What's that going to do? Well, if those are solved, all of this is solved, which means you only have to worry about the top layer. So what you want to do now is, with the white on the bottom, yellow is going to be on top now because yellow is always across from white. You're going to want to look on the top layer for one of the 4 edge pieces that do not have the color of the center, in this case yellow. So this piece, can't use it. This piece, cannot use it because it has yellow. Excuse me. Yellow, no good. This one does not have yellow. It has orange and green. So we're going to turn the top layer until the side that's facing towards you, or not in the top, you're going to turn this top layer until whatever color is facing you matches up with its corresponding centerpiece. So, turning, there we go. It matches up with the green. Now, the other color on this edge piece is orange. So which way, from your perspective, is orange? it goes to the right. You may be solving a different edge piece now because you may not have had this piece in your top layer. But whatever color is on top, say it's orange, or say it's red, and you're solving from here. Excuse me, here. If this were red, you'd have to go to the right. You have to go to the right because orange is on the right. And when you have to go to the when this color is on the right, you have to do this algorithm. Up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up, and front. And as you can see, that put that piece in its place, and the white is still solved. That's what algorithms do. So, the next one is right here. This has yellow, and those two have yellow, so we're going to have to work on this one right here. Blue and orange. So we're going to turn it, and look, blue is on the right side of orange. This one's already solved. It has to go to the right. So we're going to do the same exact algorithm. Up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up, and front. So let's look around the cube again. As you can see, these three pieces have yellow, so they're no good. So this piece, there we go, blue and red. So there we go, blue. It's another right algorithm. Now there is a left algorithm. I'm gonna have to show you that if this one is also a right. The next one. So same algorithm again. Up, right, up inverted, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, up, front. So here we go. Good. This one, whatever it ends up being, you have to match it up with the center. It's green and red. And now red is to the left of green. So this, you have to go to the left. This is a new algorithm. Make sure you know this one just as well as the rest. This algorithm right here, used to take this piece to the left. Up inverted, left inverted, up, left, up, front, up inverted, and front inverted. As you can see, that solved your edges. That's still solved, and all of the bottom two layers are done. Next, we're going to move on to the top layer. So, first step on the top layer, you have to do exactly what we did on the bottom layer. Your first thing on the bottom layer was solving the cross. So you want to solve a cross on the top layer. You're going to be thinking, that's going to be very difficult because we had to turn every single side in order to get the cross up top. But all this is already solved. Again, algorithms come into play. So there are 4 cases you can get when trying to get the top cross. One is when there are no edges up. It's just the center. The other one is when there is something that resembles an L that would look like this. When this one is done and this one is done, 2 adjacent edge pieces facing up, 2 adjacent edge pieces across from each other, which would make a straight line. And then, of course, solved, in which case you wouldn't have to do this step. It would be done for you. Happens sometimes, doesn't happen sometimes. So when you have just the centerpiece up, do this algorithm. This is the same algorithm you're going to have to do for all of those cases, unless, of course, you have the cross. Front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. Again, all this is still in place, and from the dot it takes you to an L. So when you have the L, or the 2 adjacent centerpieces, you want those centerpieces to be in the left and right, the left and the top of the cube. By that I mean sort of like a mirror image. So if this is an L, you want a mirror image of that. So it's in the left and it's in the top. So from here, do the same algorithm. Front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, and front inverted. This is the third case where you have a straight line or 2 edges straight across from each other. And when you have this, you have to hold them from left to right, a horizontal line, and do the same algorithm. Front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, and front inverted. And that will give you a cross, which is what you need for this step. And this is also the 4th case, which you may get anyway. Step. So the next step is to, you want to get 1x3 bars on each side. By that I mean you want this, ignoring the left and right layers of the cube, you want the middle layer to be solved. You want that to be solved, that to be solved, and that to be solved. So in order to do that, you have to just turn the top layer until at least 2 of them match up. So okay, I have one here. That doesn't match up, and this one matches up. So there are 2 cases. They'll either be across from each other, as these ones, this case is, or they will be adjacent to each other. So if you have the one where they're across from each other, do this algorithm with one in the front face and one in the back face. Right, up, right inverted, up, right, up, up, right inverted. And what that will do if they're across from each other, it'll take them to being adjacent. You can get this step first, and in which case you would hold one in the back face and one in the right face. So the 2 unsolved ones are right here. Do the same algorithm with one extra move at the end. Right, up, right inverted, up, right, up, up, right inverted, and the last move is just an up. So what that does is you have all these little middle layer edges solved. So the next step is going to be working on the corners. So there are 2 steps to this. You have to put the corners in their correct places and also orient them correctly. So to put them in the correct place, which you must do first, you have to look around. So you see how this is not in its right place, even though yellow is, this area right here is solved. That's not in the right place because red is nowhere near here. Same thing here. Blue is not here, here, or here. This piece, however, yellow, green, and red. Yellow, green, and red. It's in between all 3 of those sides. So by what I mean when I say you have to orient or put all the pieces in the correct place, you have to have all of them looking something like this. They could be solved completely like this. Yellow could be up here, this green could be over here, and this red could be over here, and it could be solved, or it can't be. It doesn't matter when you're doing this algorithm right here. Do this with that piece in the front face in the upper right hand corner. Up, right, up inverted, left inverted, up, right inverted, up inverted, and left. Now you may have to do that a number of times from the same position in order to get all these in the right place. I was fortunate enough to only have to do it once. You may have to do it more than once. And also, when you start this out, none of your corners may be in the right place. In that case, just do this from either corner, any of the 4 corners, and then after you do it once, at least one of them will be in place, and then do what I just did. So if you have to do it more than once, keep it the same way and just do the algorithm again until they're all in place. So the next step, and the last step, is to orient the corners. So in this case, we have all 4 corners unsolved. By that I mean none of them are matching on all 3 of their sides. You can have this case when you have to do 4 of them. You can have this case when you have to do 3 of them. You can also have this case when you have to do 2 of them. And of course you could also have a case where sometimes, once every little bit in a while, you will not have to do any of the corners orienting any of the corners. They will just be done. But we had this case when we started out, so we'll stick with it. I'll show you this and the other 2 versions of this. So if you have this, when you have to do 4 corners, start from any side. I picked this one. So remember the algorithm from the first layer when we had to do the corners? You're going to have to do that either 4 or 2 times depending on which way the piece is facing. Excuse me. So if it's facing towards you, you'll have to do it 4 times, and if it's facing to the right, you'll have to do it twice. So let's see, we got to do it 4 times here. So holding the orange on the top, the white on the bottom, work from this piece, right inverted, right, down, 2, 3, 4. That's solved. I know all this is messed up, but don't worry, it'll come back all together in the end. So let's do another. When we do another corner, you want to do an up inverted. You want to load from the left. And I'll also show you this. If you have, ignoring all the bottom mess that's going on right now, if you have a scenario where you have to do 3 pieces, if you have 1 piece solved, you want that to be in the back right corner. But if you have 2 pieces that are solved, say this one's solved too, you just want them all in the back and you only want to be working on the front. So in this case, we had none of them solved, so let's just keep working. this is facing towards you, so we must do it 4 times. Right inverted, right down. 2. 4. Alright, let's do it up inverted because we're loading from the left. Always working from this spot. 2 times because it's facing to the right. Done. Up inverted. Last piece we're working on. We're almost there. Right inverted, right, down. And one last time. Ooh. Shaun, could you come here for a minute? I can't finish this. Maybe he could do better with it.
Alright, let's see here.
No, that's not it. I don't think so. Try to match up some purples. I think they're on there, right?
Purple? What's purple?
Oh, wait, never mind. Try turning this layer. Do it again. Oh my god! You solved it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and let us know what you want to solve next. Do you want to learn how to solve the 2x2 next? Do you want to learn how to solve the 4x4 next? Or any other cube you've heard of? I'll see if I have it, and I'll do a tutorial on that. Soon to be coming up, unboxings, reviews on multiple cubes. Have a nice day. We have been Cubic Theory.